Closing the wage gap. Have you ever wondered why in the Constitution we're all considered equal, but our pay between men and women is not? If you're a woman, you've likely experienced this already. For many years, women have been discriminated against into lower paying jobs for a plethora of reasons. The wage gap can be closed if society as a whole can work together for themselves and for their team. As a woman, I've seen this in my own life already. I was working over 30 hours each week at a daycare while I was in school, and I was lucky to make $200 a week. As I did some research, I realized that many women across the country also experience these same issues. There's a gap in pay between many businesses which needs to be closed so that mothers can earn a livable wage. We can begin to change this dynamic by advocating for others and advocating for ourselves, which will ultimately result in the rise in pay for women. In America, women are discriminated into lower paying jobs or take pay cuts because they become mothers. In almost every business, there's not an equal pay between all employees. According to Pew Research Center, men get an increase in pay when they have children, which is called the fatherhood wage premium. On the other hand, women are punished for becoming mothers with the motherhood penalty. According to Fortune.com, moms in the workforce are less likely to be chosen for promotions, they'll earn lower salaries, and they're held to a higher standard than non-moms. According to National Women's Law Center, if the wage gap were to close, poverty rates for working women would reduce over 40%. This issue is so important to our society because so many people are affected by it. Thousands of women across the country are struggling to make ends meet because they are penalized for becoming mothers. With cooperation from many businesses across the United States, we can comprise a plan to lower the wage gap. First, raising the minimum wage would reduce the rate of poverty in the country. Businesses also need to support fair scheduling practices for mothers that have unpredictable schedules. There also needs to be transparency about pay when someone is being hired. According to American Progress, the Paycheck Fairness Act would reduce the pay secrecy, give women better tools to address pay discrimination, and make it more difficult for companies to hire male workers making more money than females. The United States will need to provide more affordable health care and child care for children, so mothers can afford the difference between their bills and their pay each month. This plan will work because each step in the process works towards being more inclusive to women. A higher minimum wage means that it would be more a livable wage. If businesses were less reluctant about flexibility in a schedule, then women wouldn't have to be laid off for having to leave work for children. If businesses are truthful and upfront about pay, it will leave no room for secrecy and differences in pay between gender. Lastly, providing affordable childcare is a very important part of a mother's decision to go into a career. If a mother is paying half of her monthly income for childcare, they may be reluctant to take the job. If you can work together for this cause, things may begin to change. If these steps are taken, we can expect to see less discrimination in the workplace and equal pay for everyone. It will take some time for each business to adopt these changes, but over time, things will change. If we don't adopt these changes into society, more and more women each day will fall into poverty. Women will not receive livable salaries, the minimum wage will stay the same as inflation rises, and men will continue to make more than women, doing the same job. You'll see that your bank account will be more comfortable, and you'll be able to afford the things that you need. Men and women will be paid for their strengths rather than their roles in society. If things do not change, you can expect to have issues paying your bills and getting the things that you need. This country desperately needs more pay in order to afford the necessities. If we do adopt these practices, mothers will no longer have to decide between staying at home making no income to avoid the cost of childcare, or if they go to work, they spend half of their money on it. And for everyone else, we'll be able to see that women contribute greatly to society, and even though they have limited schedules, they are worthy employees. Advocating for yourself and your team is very important. In conclusion, it is vital that we work together to make a change. Start these uncomfortable conversations in your workplace. Make it known that you desire equal pay and that your coworkers desire it as well. As management, it is important that you make the changes necessary to conform to this new approach to the wage gap. You remember one thing from today, let it be this. If you want something to change, don't wait around for somebody else to start doing it. You do it today, right where you are. Let your courage and strength give someone else the ability to speak out for themselves. Women and children every day are falling victim to this gender pay gap. Some are drowning in debt and others are just scraping by. Speaking out against this issue is important. Make your opinion known even if no one agrees with you at first. Women and people of color deserve the same benefits as white men are getting. Make a change today. Save someone's life right now, where you are. Everyone is worthy of a livable wage.